it is.
Here's your mic.
Thank you.
Along with batteries.
Okay.
Apparently
Okay.
it's
So if you can put that on, turn it on, and then we'll get the level set.
Okay.
Yeah. And remember, there's children walking.
Okay. I'm only good for one side. So if I kick it on up there on the TV,
What's that?
we have a TV upstairs, so
Yeah.
I'm
I'm actually not going to do that because there's about a 20-second delay. So it's going to look really weird to hear Peter 20 seconds later.
Hey, you, how are ya? No kidding. I know. I need to phone and find out what happened. I think I got left off the call list. Oh. Oh, there you go, power.
Hello, hello, hello.
Nothing, Evan.
Huh? Have you got it muted?
No, I took it off mute.
Turn off mute. It's turned on, right?
Yeah. It's good. You quit on me, Tara.
You gotta open the case to turn it on.
Look at that. Okay.
Alright, so just talk and make sure that levels come up on the thing.
Hello, hello, hello.
Levels come up on that device.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn on the speakers and just keep talking. And you let me know when the volume's good.
Tara, do you want the dogs up here or no? It's okay, I don't care.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Get down a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3. I think that's pretty good, Evan, right there. Even maybe one, go down one. What do you think? How do you feel like that? Is that good or do you want a little lower?
I'm gonna go a little lower.
Yeah.
I do it on.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Do, 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 do.
Good. So long as you stay out of this area, you shouldn't do that.
Okay. Perfect.
And your black's over there. But maybe we should move it away from the tripod. Yeah. Here. Oh, and everything's changed. Look at your ears.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Oh, you got a new partner this year. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on in. And, patient, you gotta retire.
There you go.
Keep having the kids.
You got a fold, well, she had a fold, didn't you? Two folds.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's working at home, Sherry just confirmed. And she's gonna sit there with a coffee and Bailey's and lunch.
Who's that?
Sherry, after one of the clients here. I think we let everybody come and watch, so. I could have probably hung up the windows. Yeah. I can bring my long broom in right now. Yes, it is very exciting. Maybe if Peter's not even one. Yeah, I know. I didn't even get you lunch break. It's like a burger.
Tara,
I figured there's gonna be
Yeah,
some
Hunter's
like
staying up here?
people are, pardon?
is Hunter staying up here?
She can, doesn't matter. You can just leave the gate open. The worst they're gonna do is eat cat litter and captain. Yeah, these two, the two ponies are largest, they don't more train. And then these two are gonna do the modified children's this year, but it's too far.
Boom, boom, boom.
The ponies are so similar. They are little arrows cross thingies. They go the same. They jump the same. Everything's the same. That one was really nice. This one was really nice. Bella's the child. Macy's the pony. Yeah, I can remember. I think you've taught all of these ones, just not Nancy's the one. Yeah, I'll go right.
That'd be awesome. Yes, it is a little growing, ivy. Expected. The door was right, but then we got we spelled this young lady's name, so I could see it. I just did it in my quick. Yeah, I can't hear her. You're good. I put it on mute just while I was chatting with your mom.
I actually want you to turn it on because I forgot to set up the speaker in the order.
Okay.
Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3, Evan.
Working? No?
Testing, testing, testing. What's it there?
Guys, I'll take your coolers when you come past. Get twisted anyway.
Testing, testing, testing.
Perfect, thanks, Peter.
There we go. Okay, gang, good morning. How's everybody? Good. So Clancy's on the bay, and Claire's on the other bay, and then Nye is there, and Bella's on Little Chestnut. Perfect. Okay, girls, well, I think all of you except Clancy have seen me before, right? Okay, so that's sort of good. Like we always do, and think about it in a little clinic or lesson, I want everybody just to stay relaxed and have some fun, hopefully, ask some questions. But the big thing is just to relax, and if we do things, I'm sure we'll do a lot of things that are pretty similar, maybe some things that are just change things a little bit and just open mind, and just work our way through it. So let's just start, girls, with a little working trot and get everybody get their blood going and get our horses moving on this nice but chilly morning. So first thing we're going to think about as we start is just establishing a rhythm. Getting our ponies and horses to relax and just feeling that as we go here, the rhythm starts to stay the same. Maybe just a gentle feel of the mouth. I like to teach contact, whether it's with your legs against your horse's side or your hands on the mouth in sort of a scale from 1 to 10. And I like to think of 3, girls, as the perfect connection. So maybe right now we've got 1. If your horse is a little sensitive or your pony's not ready for the contact, we'll have, say in 10 minutes. But I want you to, fingers closed on the reins, and just feeling like we're holding the bit against our ponies and horses' cheeks, and just establishing a nice rhythm. Let's change direction. So maybe Claire and Bella can change there. Naya and Clancy here. Again, just keeping it simple, just allowing them to see the arena now through to the right. That's it, Naya. Don't overact too much. Just post trot by it. That's good. Good, and let's do a transition to the walk, girls. So we just start with our communicating with our horses and ponies here. And I believe whether you have a hunter or a jumper or equitation, whatever job we're going to do here, the basics have to start the same. So we start to communicate with the horses and ponies and just seeing what kind of mood they're in, how they're going to respond. Let's go back to the working trot. So we squeeze with our legs, ask them to post the trot or to work it like a nice working trot, and just see what kind of pressure it took for you to get a reaction from your horse. So if 3 is perfect, 0 would be our legs right away from our horse's side, And if we gently just put our legs against the pony or horse's side, that's 3. So maybe to go to the trot, we go to 4. But then there's got to be a soften back to 3. And just make sure there's always pressure. And then we reward the horses with less pressure. That's good. So now maybe Clancy, we could ask her to trot a little bit more forward now. There. That's good. That looks good, Claire. A little bit more, Bella. Ask her to go forward a bit more now. And we create more trot, ladies, from our leg. And the more, as riders, we can, whatever level you're at, learn to ride from back to front. Being aware of what your horse's hind legs are doing, more than focusing on what the nose and the neck are doing. It looks pretty to get the flexion, but until we get the hind leg working and the back working, we don't really need the flexion until we get the hind end, the motor working. That looks pretty good, Naya. That's a nice trot. Atta girl, just ignore her when you, that's it. That's good, Claire. Maybe a little shorter rein now. Good. And let's do another transition to the walk, girls. Stretching up, sinking into the saddle, closing the leg, and then lastly using our hands on the reins. I want you to always think about riding the horse forward first, right? Even in a downward transition, you have to think, ride the horse forward, ride the horse from back to front. Now let's sit the trot. So a little slower trot. Let's close our leg and allow our seat bones to sit in the saddle. I want you, as you sit the trot, to think about sitting on that tripod, your seat bones and your pubic bone sitting on that tripod, letting your knee come forward out of your hip and getting the stirrup iron at the girth. So we talked about the basic position, getting that hip over our heel, and I want the stirrup iron at 90 degrees to the girth on the widest part of your foot. Upper bodies at the sit trot, we're going to be just slightly ahead of the vertical. So just let your upper bodies come forward so you're just like 5 degrees ahead of the vertical. I want the fingers closed on the reins, nice straight line from the elbows to the horse's mouth. That looks good. Maybe just think a little bit more forward, Clancy. Even at the sit trot, don't let her sort of go up and down. Feel that she's still pushing and just taking you forward a little bit more than that. That looks pretty good, Claire. That's good, Bella. Just raise your hand a little bit. Good. So now let's go back to the walk. So leg first. Our shoulders can come back to the vertical. We can use our seat and our lower back. And then again, lastly is hands. So even from a sit trot to the walk, we're always thinking riding our horse and ponies forward. We can use our bodies, not just pull on the mouth, and train your horses to respond with the leg to put the hind end underneath them, the shoulders and back to help engage the hind leg with the leg, and then lastly we use our reins. And let's go back to that sit trot. Slow, but the leg is, you're pushing with the leg to get that hind leg coming underneath you. And like I said, I think with even the hunters, the ponies, the basics have to be correct so that we teach the horses self-carriage so we can have a nice, smooth hunter trip. We can teach a baby horse balance, and then we can win an equitation class, whatever. But the basics start the same. Good. That looks nice. Now let's go from that sit trot to a working rising trot. So now the upper body's inclined 30 degrees. Make sure we keep our hands up so we keep that straight line from the elbow to the mouth. I want fingers closed. And I want you guys to think of from your elbow to your horse's mouth. It's like a circuit from the elbow through your arm, your hand, nice straight wrist with fingers that are closed, and then right to the reins to the mouth. We're keeping that circuit. If we bend our wrists, open our fingers, we lose that connection. So I want you to think about fingers closed, and the feel of your horse's mouth comes through our elbows. That looks really nice, Clancy, that angle of your elbow to your horse's mouth. That looks quite good, Claire. Just watch your left wrist as this little twisty thing, right? Try to get that left wrist as connected to your horse's mouth as the right. Bella and Naya, that looks very nice. That's great. So now let's do another transition, ladies, to the walk. So we use a little leg, we sit, we bring the shoulders back, and then the last thing is our hands. And if you guys can program yourself to do that every transition, every downward transition, whether it's a gallop to a walk, a sit trot to a walk like we just did, you're always teaching your horses to put the hind leg underneath them and be light with their front end. That's what we want. Let's go back to a working rising trot. Clancy, let's do a little half turn up there with Bella. Here, Naya, why don't you just go behind me with Claire. And let's change back to the left. And just watching these four horses warm up, I love to see that the rhythm is just staying the same. They're starting to relax. We're getting over them, moving a few poles into the corners and changing the world. So now we're just starting to maintain one steady rhythm. And throughout the lesson, your goal, ladies, is to get the best reaction with the least amount of pressure. Does that make sense to you? Right? If it takes us 8 pounds of pressure, or 8 on that scale of 1 to 10 to make your horse go from the walk to the trot, imagine if it scoops at a jump, what it's going to take to get it to the other side of the jump. So we're trying to work here at fine-tuning our communication with the horse so that we can get the best response of jumping a nice, easy, smooth course and making it look pretty. Let's come back to the walk. Leg, seat, shoulders, hands. And that's it. So you're always thinking forward. You're always thinking forward. You're thinking back to front. So now let's go back to the rising working trot. A little pressure with your leg. Do you get a response that you want? If you do, great. Soften your leg. If you don't, a little discipline with a kick with a spur, a little stick, just something to say, come on, work with me. We practice correctly. We need to be disciplined in our position. Number 1 for function, and maybe the most important, maybe it should be 1 is safety. And the same thing with our horses. I think they should be obedient, they should be treated kindly, but also there should be respect so that it's safe. It's safe. That looks great now. A little shorter reins. And now, ladies, let's ask with our leg to lengthen the trot now. So we're just going to close our leg, maybe just soften the hand a tiny bit and allow them to go forward. Ask them to go forward. Feel that they lengthen their stride, not just go faster, but feel that that hind leg keeps pushing and making your pony and horse's stride longer without losing connection with the mouth. That's good, Claire. A little shorter rein still. Turn that toe in just a touch. Good. Good. I like how still everybody's legs are. I think if we're always, every time you sit, if you have to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, your horse is going to get numb. We want horses that are reactive, but relaxed. That looks good, Naya. Now come back to the working trot. So leg, stretch up a little bit, close the fingers, and come back to your working trot. And just feel that now you can just shorten the stride just a little bit. Organize the pace. That's it. And go back to that working, that lengthened trot. Let's see a little bit of a difference now. Let's make them go forward. That's it, Clancy. More. Good, Naya. Go for it a little bit. Good girl. Good, Bella. Go for it. Make her trot forward. That's it. Good, Claire. And what I want to see, girls, if you soften your leg a little bit, do they stay there? That's the test. When you soften a little bit, do they stay there by themselves? That's your training. We shouldn't have to, every stride, kick and squeeze and pull. Ask. They stay there. Now let's come back and collect and sit the trot. So close the leg, stretch, put your seat in the saddle, and then gently close your fingers. But always thinking forward. Always riding the horse from back to front. And you've seen lots of people at the horse shows, you know, they get wiggling their hands and it looks pretty good. They got the horse's nose in its chest, but they have no control of the hind leg. They're probably going to miss lead changes and horses can run out. You have to get them in front of the leg. That looks nice. Good. And let's walk. Super. So as you walk, and we'll give them a little mental break, keep thinking, girls, about maintaining that walk. Maintaining that walk. I don't think horses know that they can have a break and go back to sleep and then they have to work again. So try to keep thinking about, we're giving them a little break by walking, but make it an active walk. Feel that they're staying in front of the leg, taking your hand, feeling like they're going forward between your two reins, and you've got sort of that 3 out of 10 of the horse putting their face in the bit and taking your hand and taking you forward. That looks quite good, everybody. Okay, let's get ready to have a little canter. So we're going to start just with a nice working canter. I want everybody in their 2-point, half seat, jump position, whatever terminology you want to use. And again, the canter should be relaxed, it should be rhythmic, and there should be connected, right? There should be connection between your leg, the horse's side, the horse is going forward into your contact. Okay? So, let's ask the canter, and away we go. So when we think about our body position for our 2-point at the canter, I want your upper bodies the same 30 degrees ahead of the vertical that we have when we post the trot, right? There shouldn't be a position for your post trot, your jumping, it just is 30 degrees. We're nice and open. Our seats are just out of the saddle, and that leg is at the girth. Okay, keeping that leg still clear, keeping that leg, that stirrup iron at the girth. The only modification we'll do from that is slightly allow your outside leg to go behind the girth so that as you go through the turn, your horses bend around the inside leg and they don't swing their hips to the outside. That's good. Make sure as we go down the long side, we make our horses straight, our ponies straight with our outside rein. We keep it simple. We keep a one rhythm, we keep a nice connection, and we make our horses and ponies straight with outside rein. Very good. Bella, I want everybody to follow Bella. Let's do a little turn here in front of me. Why don't we go back between those two, the white Cavaletti. Do a lead change at the white standards. Naya, Claire, Clancy, let's everybody follow. It's a nice rhythm. Good. All right. Good. Just riding a straight line. Beautiful. So now we've done a little change of direction, a simple flying change, but what I love to see is the rhythm has not changed. Right? And that's the important thing. Even one little change of lead can often, if done incorrectly, change our horse's balance. They increase their pace. And we're always training that rhythm to stay the same. Super. So let's just do a little transition to the walk. So we're going to think leg, seat, shoulders, hands. Okay? And, I say it very slowly so that you guys do it relaxed, go through the steps, but then it should just become second nature to leg, as you sit, as your shoulder comes back, as your hand and elbow gently bend, and we add a little pressure to come back to the walk. But again, I want you to feel there's always that intent of your horse to go forward. It's really hard to ride a horse that is not going forward. A horse that is not taking you forward. Old horse, young horse, baby, jumper, hunter, they have to be in front of the leg taking you forward. Let's step back into the canter. So establish that rhythm. So keep her a little straighter now. I know she's a little green. Keep her straight. Maybe Claire and Clancy circle up there. Not a girl. Now just get organized. Turn a little early, Diane. Push outside leg, push your bum to the inside. See, when you use that much inside rein, you're just losing your shoulder. So I want you to think of keeping her straight with your reins. Use your outside leg to push your bum off the rail, and then after the canter. Take your time, do it again. Okay, you guys keep the large now that Naya's over on the wall there. Now, girl, do it on the corner. Keep her shoulders with your neck reins, Naya. Push her haunch off the wall. There you go. And it helps on the turn, but you practice that and you'll get it on the long side. Good. Now, let's lengthen the canter, ladies. So let's add a little leg. See if our horses will respond. Feel that we lengthen the canter. Not just go faster, but feel by adding a little pressure, the horses lengthen their stride. And then if we can soften our leg, do they stay there? We're always teaching them to maintain rhythm and carry themselves. So now let's think, girls, about coming back to the working canter. So the first thing we're going to do is close our legs. Shoulders come back. And working back to the working canter without them breaking. That's what I want to see. And then go back up and lengthen the canter again. Feel that you have a change of pace. Make them go forward. And see if they will stay there by themselves. And now close the canter again. So you can open your angle, add a little leg, but don't let them break. Don't just pull on the mouth. Leg to hand all the time. Good. And let's walk. Leg, seat, shoulders, hands. Very clear. That's good, you guys. I like it because I see the rhythm stays the same. And that's the most important part. Getting that rhythm to stay the same. You guys have all had enough show experience, I think, that we can, from our experiences in the ring, and I always sort of call on, the difference between how the horse rides the first line of a course to the last line. Sometimes the first line we have to move up a little bit, but by the time you get to the last line in a 100 course, sometimes you're having to say, whoa, right? So being able to start with one canter and finish with the same canter so that course looks smooth is what we want. So let's let them have a little breather. Let's change direction as we walk. And I think we can do this as a group. So this little exercise is 48 feet.